Hello and welcome to the heliosblog. My name is Helios here for another reaction video. Today, Sneako talks about equality on FreshandFit. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Wait, what do you think, feminist?
Let her answer.
What? Whoa.
Do you think men and women are actually equal?
I mean, I feel like nowadays compared
I feel like
to what it was before, yeah. I mean, back in the day, there used to be a lot of difference between. You see what I'm saying? Like females and all. But listen, I'm talking. I don't know about you all right here, but I'm talking about where I came from. Talking about South America is different. You see what I'm saying?
That's why they should stay in those countries, man. They come here to get brainwashed. Feminism ruins all these women.
Correct.
true, absolutely true. Girls come to North America, they listen to the wrong TikToks, and that's all it takes. Bam, culturally destroyed.
They get corrupted from Instagram and the Western ideology.
I am a feminist. I am proud. Even though I'm sitting next to him, I'm on these girls' side.
I'll tell y'all this, ladies. I know women like to say that men and women are equal and everything else like that, but I mean, let's be honest here. You're not looking for a guy your height. You're not looking for a guy that makes as much money as you. You're not looking for a guy as strong as you. You're not looking for a guy that have as much confidence as you. You want a man who's better than you in everything. So
Absolutely true, and that is called hypergamy, right? Men and women are not equal. Well, in relationships anyway. And the reason is because a girl always wants a guy who's better than her at everything. Taller, fitter, stronger, faster, more money, more friends, better friends, more charismatic, etc. Girl wants a guy that's better than her and all of that. And so because of that, when they say they have an equal relationship, it's disingenuous because the guy already passed the hypergamous filter, right? So it's disingenuous at best. And again, if a girl says that she's in an equal relationship, what it actually means is that she's ruling the relationship, which means she's miserable in the relationship. That's how you can tell a girl is miserable. If she says, I'm in an equal relationship.
quite frankly, you're not looking for an equal. You're looking for a superior. Men and women are not the same whatsoever. We're very different. And since we're different, we can never be equal. So I think this is a lie that feminism tells women that we are equal. The reality is we are
equal because we people anyway.
Okay, we're equal in the sense that we both have value as human beings. Absolutely true. That's without a doubt. But to say that men and women are equal in ability is wrong. I mean, again, it really does depend on what you're describing. So, like, men in general are physically stronger than women, like, most of the time. Men in general earn more money than women. Men work more than women. And so on, right? If you talk about reasoning ability at the highest level, men are superior, right? That isn't to say average reasoning is not the same. But, you know, the sort of reasoning you need to be a highly successful professional is seen more often in men than women, and so on.
I mean, from a humanity standpoint,
the fact that you got a dick and I got a what pussy, whatever, it ain't so what?
On a human level, we are equal.
What?
Yeah, here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. How does that make you different?
It makes us extremely different. The fact that I have a penis and you have a vagina, that's for one. That makes us very different.
What do you mean, how? Men and women are obviously biologically different. That's called sexual dimorphism. I'll explain that in a second. Let's do the shilling. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian L, and Tom M. Just click more in the video description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And of course, go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Okay. So, men and women are sexually dimorphic. What that means is, biologically we're different. Men tend to be taller. Men tend to have more dense bones. Men tend to have more body mass. Men tend to have more muscle. Again, also men tend to be bigger. They tend to have larger skeletons, right? And even brain-wise, we're different. Brain chemistry, the way that the brain is wired, right? So men are wired more back to front. Women are wired more side to side. The point being, men are capable of more direct reasoning, like mathematical reasoning, in general, whereas women are better at emotional reasoning and, you know, kind of connecting the emotional dots and understanding, like reading a room or whatever sort of thing. Very different. And of course, while one says in general that women have more empathy than men, it's actually not true. Women are much better at showing sympathy, which means feigning empathy, pretending to care, for the purposes of succeeding in social situations. Women are much better than men at that. Virtue signaling and that sort of thing, you know. Let me show you what a good person I am. Let me demonstrate how nice I am. That sort of thing. But it's actually for social gain. So it's not really done from an empathetic standpoint. It's done from a, how can I gain for myself in this social situation? All right, let's continue.
Different because we view the world differently. We have different biological urges. We have different biological strategies. And if anything, our biological strategies compete with one another. They're adversarial.
That's right.
So, because like men want to have sex with as many girls as possible, women want to have sex with the best guy possible. We're very different. Why are you shaking your head? Do you want to run around and have sex with a bunch of dudes?
Who said that?
Do you?
That's literally what I just stated. Do you want to have sex with a bunch of dudes?
Nobody. Okay, but okay.
Please answer the question, yes or no. Do you want to have sex with a bunch of dudes?
If I feel like it, maybe. I don't feel like it. No.
If I feel like it. But again, most of the time, when women are not ovulating, they don't feel like it, right? They don't feel like having bedroom fun every day or all the time. Whereas men do, because, of course, I didn't mention testosterone and estrogen and oxytocin. Men have 10 times the amount of testosterone that women have. Women have 10 times the oxytocin. So basically, men are more aggressive and more competitive, more adversarial, less agreeable, and they tend to also be, I already said, more competitive. They also tend to want to have bedroom fun more than women. And what do women have versus men? They have more oxytocin, so they pair bond faster. They're better at forming relationships with, children and things like that, especially their own children. Okay, let's continue.
Listen, no, right? You want to find the best guy and settle down eventually and have a family, right?
Maybe, yeah.
At some point.
At some point.
You want to have sex with one guy and have kids with him.
At some point.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. A man, though, wants to have sex with as many women as possible. So we're very different. That's what I mean. She doesn't understand what I'm saying. All right,
no,
listen.
I do understand what you're saying, but how does that make you like?
That makes us not equal.
That makes us not equal.
All right.
If you're different, then you're by definition not equal, because you're not the same, because equality implies the same. And it's not that men are the same as women with different parts. No, the different parts actually make them different, right? The testosterone that's released for men makes them have a different brain chemistry than women. So that's how it goes.
I think we're equal.
Because you're looking at it like men and women are equal. I'm not saying that one person is better than the other, okay? I'm just saying that we're different. I'm just saying we're...
Okay, let's look at this comment here. Honestly, most of y'all only care about this stuff because you're bots. Think for yourself. Work for yourself. Grow for yourself. Don't do something to try and impress some man or woman or because Fresh and Fit told you to act or think a certain way. Get a man and a woman who does that too. Okay. Yeah, the truth is, if you're doing stuff just because other people tell you to do stuff, you're just a puppet, right? You have no ability to critically think for yourself. Use the information for your benefit. Don't just do what other people tell you blindly, of course.
We're very different. We're better at different things. It just so happens the things that build the world, men are better at.
I guess.
I mean, that's a fact.
The chair you're sitting in, the table.
95% of inventions were made by men. Women don't build society, men do.
The chair.
Yeah, again, it's direct and indirect, right? So what is the point? Men build society. Women reward men that are competitive and successful with children, right? So directly the men build it, and indirectly the women support the men that build it, right? By giving them bedroom fun and children, right? They indirectly reward the winners, right? So women determine who is born, right? Before it wasn't before there was no birth control, right? So if a woman had bedroom fun with a man, bam, chance that you could have a child. Nowadays, women actively select certain men to be born, and they do stuff to the children of other men, and you get what I'm saying. So the point is, it's unilateral, right? Women are choosing who is born nowadays, and basically they only choose Chad's children to be born. And who is Chad? Chad is a competitive, strong, successful man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. Those are the men that reproduce. And they're superior in some fashion, right? They're physically superior, genetically superior. They're at the top of their field or whatever. These are the men that are chosen. Men choose who the winners are, and women choose those men for reproduction.
Women weren't even allowed
Women what?
to there's anything.
Okay, women are allowed now. Why are they still not involved in engineering, math, technology, etc.? There's more educated women now than ever before. Why are women still not?
Lie. That's why I majored in computer science, because I feel like, first of all, that's like the biggest demand out there is women.
Right, so she's brainwashed, right? She's been told by society that you need to be a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. Go into a competitive field, right? But effectively in doing so, she makes herself like a man. And in doing that, she makes herself less attractive to the very men that she wants to attract. Because, again, as a woman increases in career and status, she prices herself out of the market of men she's interested in. So, she prices herself out of... because she's not attracted to men that are on her level. Right? So she prices herself out of the market of competitive men by being a competitive woman. So she wants a guy who's one tier higher. And those guys, well, they don't want girls like her.
Change the world.
Technology.
Okay, do you want to get into mines? Do you want to go pick up trash? Do you want to go fix things?
No,
do you want
I want to do programming, and I want
Right, so you want to pick and choose what you do. But male jobs that men have to risk their lives for, you don't want to take them.
I never agreed with the fact that men and women are equal, only in a biological standpoint, because I feel like men's bodies are made to do different things than women. That's why I feel like at the end of the day, we do have different duties. Don't be laughing at me.
No, we do.
It's true. Men and women have different duties. That's right.
Different duties, like not in a
I mean, let's not deviate from the argument. The argument was simply that men create society, women do not. That's a fact.
Well, yeah, at this point, shit. What else is there to do?
And here's the other thing too. You got to remember, there's more women in college than ever before. Women are getting degrees at a higher rate than men than ever before. Yet they still are underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, and math. So what does that tell you? It tells you that women don't want to do jobs that create infrastructure.
That's right. Exactly. And actually, even in the most egalitarian societies possible, right? Even in the Nordic countries, women still don't choose those jobs. They have the opportunity to get those jobs. They have the opportunity to make money doing those jobs, but they still don't choose them because men and women are wired to want to do different things.
More interested in people, men are more interested in things. So even though women overwhelmingly dominate college, they still don't create society.
That's what I was saying earlier about my grandfather. Women are more like empathetic, more emotional.
So why did you argue with me saying that men create the world?
No, but I'm saying at the end of the day, earlier, like when
she's arguing just to argue.
Women couldn't vote. We couldn't even vote and shit. At the end of the day, if a woman really wanted to do everything that men were doing,
you do realize that women didn't want to vote before, though, right?
Didn't want to.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Most women actually didn't even want the vote. That's actually true. Most women didn't. It was actually... Here's what actually happened. The suffragettes convinced weak men to vote it in. That's actually what happened. And it was a very tight vote.
Yeah, y'all didn't know that,
I didn't know that, but I know the women now.
Okay,
indeed.
Yes, for a big part, for a large portion of history, women actually did not want to vote. You want to know why? Because voting came with...
They're not stupid. That's not why they didn't want to vote. They actually didn't want to vote because they're smart. Because voting comes with responsibility. And if you want the responsibility and the authority, then you're moving into your masculine. These women understood that they needed to be in their feminine role. There's nothing wrong with being the feminine role. That's the actual problem with womanism, is that it teaches women that to be feminine and to want the things that women want is wrong. Right? To want children is wrong. To want to stay at home and take care of children is wrong. To raise children is wrong. You should want to do what men want to do. That's the actual tragedy of womanism in 2023. That's the main message. The main message is men and women are exactly equal. Women should want what men want. Women should compete with men. That's the real tragedy of the situation.
Girl.
It came with responsibility.
Indeed.
They had to volunteer to be involved in firefighting, military, etc. So a lot of women didn't want to vote because they didn't want to have responsibility.
You think it's stupid now because feminism
looking at it from
brainwashed
this
you.
standpoint, I feel like
Merch.
I think we should be more involved.
You think?
You think so?
Yo, guys, get
That's
the
what
stream to
feminism's
20K
done.
likes right now. 20
That's what womanism wants you to think. That's right. It's literal brainwashing.
The reality is
But
that,
this is-
I mean, how you feel versus what is real are two different things. Women just didn't want responsibility.
Well, there's more than this. Many women, and especially in 2023, they just do what's in fashion. If it was in fashion to be a religious woman that gets married at 18 and has a child by 20, that's what most women would do. If it's in fashion to, wear short shorts and dance at the club, that's what women do. If it's fashionable to cut your hair really short and to act all masculine and rude, that's what women will do. Women do what's in fashion. So if what's in fashion is destructive for them, they'll still do it. Not all of them, of course, but I'm saying as a group, as a general trend, women do what's in fashion. And so nowadays, it's in fashion to be a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. It's in fashion to sleep with Chad. It's in fashion to have a child at 35. It's in fashion to be in your masculine as much as possible as a woman. And that's why women destroy themselves in 2023.
And I would argue in today's day and age where women are the most liberated, they still don't want responsibility because they're still not entering the workforce at the same level in the jobs that create infrastructure.
Listen, but hold on, y'all, because y'all getting deep. So I'm gonna get a little deeper real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
There's women that put themselves out there as men. So all women are not. There's women that live their life as a man.
Right.
Yeah, so that would be called an exception to the rule. And in podcasts like this and in conversations like this, they're speaking about the general, the average, the most common, not the rare exceptions to the rule, the tiny fractions of the population.
Right.
And do everything.
You see how the feminist is clapping?
Yeah.
That doesn't refute the argument. Because if one person in a group of 100 people doesn't do what the norm does, that doesn't mean that the norm doesn't do what the norm does. For example, let's say the norm likes to drink water, but 1 out of 100 drinks mud. Does that mean that saying that these people drink water is a wrong statement? No. It's a right statement, but one person is an exception.
You see that? But wait. Before you continue. Wait. If a man puts himself forward as a woman, nobody would fuck us. You can still act masculine, and then we'll still put up with it for some pussy. This is what feminism has done. You were more wifeable, you were more easy to tolerate before women started voting, before you made no sense, before you started power tripping. You're all operating off of ego now because you want the same power that we have.
Damn.
Let's let her finish her point real fast because you were saying I still want to I want you to finish your point.
Basically, okay, so women, because basically I'm just listening to y'all. Y'all just going in like women can't do the job that men do.
They're not saying that women can't do those jobs. They're saying women can, they're capable of it, they have access to and they have opportunity to, but they choose actively not to. On a massive scale. That's what they're saying. So you actually weren't listening properly.
Are women, I don't want to do what a man do. Because you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let my man take the lead to do what he has to do as a man. Okay. So that's flat out. But there are some women in the world that lives their life as a man.
That's a minority.
Okay, but again, the exception is kind of what proves the rule, right? Again, if we have 99 people walking down the street normally on the bridge and one person jumps off the bridge, it's not a far-fetched statement to say that people walk across this bridge because one person chose not to do it and chose to, be a diver off the bridge and, do some tricks or whatever. Doesn't mean that people don't normally do what people normally do. You didn't refute the argument.
that can do what men do.
Small amount.
That's a minority.
It's
Small amount, but there are others. I can't say no women.
Here's the thing.
Because some women do.
Here's the thing. Ladies, okay, let me set a ground rule here on the podcast. Exceptions don't make the rule. So if we're talking about 2 to 3% of women being involved in, let's say, construction, that's statistically insignificant. It does not matter. It is still a minority. Women overwhelmingly don't want to go into physical manual labor jobs.
Facts.
So.
Facts.
What's
and
the
I mean,
point?
and the other thing too, if we want to talk about living an easier life, there's a reason why there's more men that become, women versus the other way around.
There is, and that's because women's lives are easier than men. It's hard to be a man, because being a man means having to take responsibility, having to work hard, having to struggle and fight to get what you want.
Hey, look, I ain't arguing with y'all.
Every day.
I ain't taking on no trash. I ain't working. I ain't doing
As
none
a matter
of
of
that.
fact, to have a little bit more fun with this, there was a woman that actually went and posed as a guy for, I think, 18 months, 2 years. And they ended up, ending their life after because they realized the existence of a man is much harder than that of a woman in 2022.
Indeed.
So, yeah. You have something? You were trying to say something?
No, to your point.
Yeah, sure.
I think feminism, it's not a right or a wrong answer. I think feminism is a journey, and we're still trying to figure that out. And I think women, don't do that.
I did it.
And I think women aren't exposed to STEM opportunities and higher opportunities and being CEOs and working in these.
She's using this platform as a sounding board to virtue signal to the group of womanists what a great womanist she is. That's what she's doing. This is just PR, right? But it's not acknowledging reality. Women have opportunity. In fact, they even get paid to take those opportunities. They get rewarded for taking them, and they still choose not to. And that's because men and women are wired differently. Men and women want different things. Men and women seek different things.
In these fields is because we haven't been exposed to it. Women can't even receive education in other countries. It's called the bachelor's degree because it was only for men at that time. If we were exposed to it and had access to it, I think we would be sought after those careers.
I mean,
you already do have access to it. Right now, this is a meritocratic society. You can, as a woman, do whatever you want. You can get into whatever career you want. You'll be paid equally. But women with the opportunity, such as yourself, choose not to do it. So then it begs the question, why don't you do it? And we know why. Because men and women are different. I just don't feel like it is the correct answer. You just don't feel like it. And you don't feel like it because women in general don't feel like it. And they don't feel like it because they're wired differently than men.
Here's the thing. You can say that, but 3/4 of college attendees right now are women.
I mean, yeah, but
so
y'all.
you're incorrect. No,
But
sorry.
Where's the
y'all
oppression?
talking about
There is
that
no
like
oppression.
in America, but y'all don't see it like in general.
In other
itself.
countries,
Okay,
they're
in
not
developed
exposed to it.
first world countries.
Listen, you go in my country.
We're not talking about Argentina.
Okay, but we're not talking about America either. We're
Yeah, we
talking
are.
about
Yes, we are.
They're talking about the Western world in general, not just America. But that's the truth in the Western world in general, not just in America. That women disproportionately go to university more than men. But more than this, women tend not to get useful degrees either. So they get into university to a useless degree, graduate and can't work anyway and need to be supported by a man. But now that they have a degree, they don't want a man because they feel that they're better than men because they have a degree. Not all women, but many women. Or they go into one of these competitive fields such as programming. Then they find all the regular programmers are unattractive. They want a manager or they want a boss man, like put the C in front of his title, right? They only want that guy. Then they wonder why that guy won't commit. You priced yourself out of the market by your own decisions.
females. No, we're not.
We're in America.
We're in America.
No, we're not. We're talking about females and males. We never mentioned
Here, we're talking about feminism. And feminism is existence.
Let's muddy the waters.
Listen, we're talking about feminism. Feminism is very strong in first world English-speaking countries. So that is what we're talking
There's
about.
no feminism.
We're not talking about
male and
Argentina
female in general.
and everything else. He was just
All right,
displaying
but
Colombia before to make a point.
I didn't say no Colombian shit. I'm just saying. Like,
No, I'm saying him when he talked
okay,
about
but
South America
I wasn't talking about.
Again, let's muddy the waters. Let's say no, but let's try to prove. Let's try to say that the exception proves the rule. Let me use my own anecdotal experience. None of these are all logical fallacies. right? They're all like working against you in the argument, even though you think it's working.
About Colombia, what I'm saying is, like, y'all, I feel like y'all, and if you don't like it, it's straight. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just giving you.
No, you can say what you want to say. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's correct. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, I feel like y'all basing like your, I don't even know, like numbers or whatever, like whatever.
Statistics.
Like
facts.
yeah, that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, facts, data, and statistics. Yeah, it's not about that. It's about feelings, right?
And here, you see what I'm saying? Like in America, you're not talking about the whole world in general. And like I don't know if y'all been out of here or not, and I don't really mind because you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
we have been.
Okay, pues bueno, qué bueno por ti. Pero what I'm saying is, yeah.
That means good for you in Spanish.
Like,
Payaso.
I'm gonna laugh. I don't know what that means.
But good for you. That's what it means.
Okay. Thank you.
But pretty much like you can't just, you see what I'm saying? You can't, like, I don't know.
You can't generalize is what she's trying to say, but yes, you can, because the West operates this way, so you can. Of course, you can't generalize womanism to like a third world country or second world country. You can't. But that's not what the conversation's about, so your argument is pointless. Okay, anyway, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian on Tom M. Wow. Just click more in the video description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Go to my Patreon and subscribe. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much for listening, especially since you listened to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you next time.